Here I can see we are given a question that's log x base 2 plus 2 log y base 4 equals to 8, and we are supposed to solve for the value of y. So the first thing that you need to do in this particular question is to check the bases if they are the same, because if the bases are not the same, you cannot be able to proceed until you are able to make the two bases the same. Now, for instance, if you want to make the bases the same, if you want a new base, you can be able to use this particular law or rule. But remember the rules of logarithm. The first rule that we identified is that if you have log m base a plus log n base a, that can be written as m times n log of m times n base a. If you have a subtraction and the two logs have the same base, it means you are going to divide the two numbers. And if you have n as a power of m base a, you can be able to take the base that you have, the power behind the log, and you have this. But if you have log m base a and you want to switch the position of m to become a base and a become the number, you can express that as 1 over log a base m. Change so that we have at this particular point. So if you can see here, we are having log x base 2 plus 2 log y base 4. The base 4 is not the same as base 2, so meaning we're going to change that base so that we can be able maybe to make it to base 2, and the law we can use is this one. So if you are changing the base, you are going to say log of the number here divide by the log of this number b, which is the base now in this initial question, and then you introduce the new base that we want. In that case, we are going to introduce base 2. So now let us start this question, because we have gone through the laws and you know exactly what we are supposed to do. So we shall begin by looking at the question and try to rewrite it. So this is actually, the question is, let me write it. This is log, let me write it, log x base of 2 plus log of y power 2 base of 4 equals to 8. So what we have just done, I've just taken this number that was behind here, this number that we have at this particular point behind the log. I've taken it on top of y. Remember this law that we learned at this particular point. So if you can take the number n behind the log, you can also take it above the power. So if we want to introduce a new base, we are going to say this is log of x base 2 plus log of y squared over log of 4. Then we shall introduce base 2. Base 2 to this is equals to 8. Now once we have this, we can be able to simplify this number that we have here further. That number can be simplified, because we can say now this is the same as what? This is going to be the same as log of x base 2 plus log y squared base 2 divided by log of 2 squared base 2, and that is equivalent to 8. Now can take this number that we have behind the log here, and this is going to be log x base 2 plus log y squared base 2 divided by 2 log 2 base 2. But we know anytime you have log 2 base 2, this is actually equivalent to 1 here, and then we shall say this is equal to 8, and finally we shall have log of x base 2 plus log of y squared base 2 divided by 2 equals to 8. We can now write finally this as log x base 2 plus 1 over 2 log of y squared base 2 equals to 8. So if we take this half on top of this, it's going to be log x base 2 plus log y base 2 equals to 8, because now this half, when you take it above y, is going to cancel with that 2, and we end up now remaining with we can combine this using the first law of logarithm. If they are added, we are going to multiply the two numbers, so this is going to be xy base 2 is equals to 8. Now we can be able to express in logarithmic notation. Logarithmic notation, this is going to be equal to xy is equal to 8, or rather this is xy is equal to 2 raised to power 8. And if in case you are supposed to get the final answer here, we are going to say 2 raised to power 8 is actually giving us 256. If you can check it, it's 256, and we're gonna have this as xy equals to 256 as the final answer. Remember, in this question, you are supposed to find the value of this log in terms, you need to find the value of xy, and our xy is actually 256. In this next question, we are given log of a root b minus a half equals to log of a base b. So if we can look at this question keenly, we realize that it's having different bases. So we can now say, we can write this as this is log of root b base a minus a half equals to log of a base b. So we are supposed to solve the equation for b, but we have in terms of a, but we have to ensure that the bases are actually the same. So we are going to write this. Let me just bring this on this side and take the half on the other side. So we shall have log root b base a minus log a base b is equals to a half, is equal to a half there. So what I've just done, I've taken this number on the other side of the equal sign, and I've just taken this on this other side, so that we can be able to have it in that format. So the next thing, we look at the base at this point and the base at this point, they are not the same. So we are going to interchange that. So in order to change this to base a, we can say this is going to be written as log root b base a minus, we shall say this is log a over log b. Remember, we said first you are going to take the log of the number here and the log of the base. So that is what I've just done. So since we want base A, now we're going to introduce base A, and also we shall introduce base A at that point, and we now shall say that this is actually a half. So having this, we can now say this is going to be log root B base A minus log A base A is actually 1. Remember the law we say log of a number and the same base is going to be 1. That's why always we have log of 10 base 10 is 1. If you have log 20 base 20 is going also to be equal to 1. So at that given point, we are going to say this value that we have at the top there is going to be equal to 1. And remember always this law that we have at this particular point. So the whole of this is going to become 1. So we can now say this is 1 over log B base A is equals to a half. Now, at this given point, we can now say we can multiply this, and of course, we can be able to write this as b raised to okay, square root of b is the same as b raised to a half. So we can be able to take a half behind the log and say b base A. Let me just look for more space here so that I don't squeeze this. Okay, so there is this point here. We have log b root b is the same as b raised to a half, and this base A equals to half log b base A minus 1 over log b base A equals to a half log, no, this is a half minus a half, rather equals to a half. So we can decide and multiply all through by this log here so that we can get rid of the fraction. So this is going to be, we multiply log b base A multiply log b base A, yeah, is minus 1 is equal to a half